Hello, I am Yalit, a cloud support engineer here at the AWS office in Mexico City. Today, I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot connectivity issues with your Jupyter Lab and code editor spaces in Amazon SageMaker Studio when you are using VPC-only mode. Let's get started. If you didn't correctly configure your virtual private cloud settings in SageMaker Studio, connectivity issues will occur between SageMaker instances, your VPC domain endpoints, or the Internet. In Amazon CloudWatch, an error message will appear such as connect timeout on endpoint URL, or you might experience issues in your space, such as an application that fails to load, extensions that don't work as expected, no internet connectivity, or commands that time out. To resolve connection issues, make sure that you correctly configured your security groups for SageMaker. Also, check your subnet connections. If you don't want to grant access to the public internet, then make sure that your subnet has the correct VPC endpoints. If you do want to grant domain access to the public internet, then confirm that your domain is connected to a private subnet with an active NAT gateway. And finally, make sure that you have set up SageMaker Studio to connect to private subnets. SageMaker Studio doesn't require specific port rules for basic functionality. However, you must at least allow communication with the SageMaker service. SageMaker uses HTTPS over port 443 for all API communication. Let's start by configuring the security groups for SageMaker. Open the Amazon VPC console and then choose Security Groups. Select the security group that's attached to your domain. Choose Actions and then choose Edit Outbound Rules. Add a new rule. Select HTTPS for the type, and under Destination enter 0.0.0/0. Save the rules. You can set up additional security group rules or port configuration based on the specific resources that you want to grant access to in SageMaker Studio. Now let's confirm that you have the required VPC endpoints. Note that this step is necessary only if your subnets don't have a NAT gateway. Open the Amazon VPC console, choose Endpoints. You will need endpoints for SageMaker API, SageMaker Runtime, Amazon Simple Storage Service, and SageMaker Project Templates. For each endpoint, choose Actions, and then choose Manage Security Groups. Then associate the relevant security group. It's a best practice to use the same security group that you associated with your SageMaker domain. The security group must allow inbound HTTPS traffic port 443 self-reference and outbound traffic to all destinations 0.0.0/0. If your resources need internet access, then you must also set up a NAT gateway in your private subnets route table. Finally, when you are launching SageMaker Studio in VPC-only mode, make sure that your VPC has enough subnet IP addresses. Also, if you are using VPC endpoints, then make sure that you have enabled DNS hostnames and DNS support. You can use the AWS command line interface to update the security groups on your existing domain, or recreate the domain with the new settings. To update your Studio domain's default user settings and default space settings, run the Update Domain command. Note, to run this command, you must delete all the apps with in-service status from your user profiles. So now you know how to resolve connectivity issues with your spaces in SageMaker Studio when you are using VPC-only mode. Thanks for watching, and happy cloud computing from all of us here at AWS.